Roy was beginning to get very tired of sitting by the window of his cafe. Does that sound familiar to you, visitors? Is it a rather familiar story indeed? Many feel that notion of emptiness once in a while. So it is not uncommon to find yourself bored. Much like a certain familiar character resting by a bank in her tale, this man found himself staring off into the streets beyond his window. However, it was not due to the lack of pictures or conversation in a book, but for a very new reason entirely. For you see, dear visitors, while Roy found a purpose in his cafe, boredom was his constant and consistent customer. Gratefulness for his work still reigned in his heart, yet a life without excitement would tire the mind of any person, regardless of their blessings. This rabbit found himself yearning, eager to find some new spike of interest somewhere outside the glass pane. Would there be some sort of surprise awaiting his attention? Or was the rabbit doomed to wait for an invitation to an unbirthday party in vain? It's getting late. I should probably close up for the night.
Thanks for the coffee, Roy. Always winds up being my favorite way to end the day.
No problem. Happy to serve, you know?
We should probably get home, though. I'm sure you have a lot to do, Roy.
Good idea. Same time tomorrow, Roy?
Yep, sure. Same time tomorrow. There's gotta be something I could... Lost, in a state of close defeat, a small shimmer caught the rabbit's eye. Huh? A peculiar glimmer indeed. The sparkle belonged to a small figure, barely noticeable yet, enough to attract Roy's attention. It did not speak, so it perhaps could not say if it was late for anything itself. But its rabbit ears wiggled ever so slightly up and out from its teacup form. Hey! Wait! Curiosity gripped Roy tightly and dragged him out of his cafe to follow the little creature. It floated and spun in the air, unnoticed by the world around it, as if it was made to be seen by the rabbit only. Could it have been such? Was this vision a trick of the light? Or was something magical guiding Roy away from his safe haven? He did not care, for he left his cafe eagerly, pulled by some thread of destiny attached to the mysterious creature. It twisted and turned round corners and down streets vaguely familiar to the rabbit. Roy did his best to keep his eyes on it, maintaining the pursuit. On and on it went, and on he followed, until at last Roy was guided to a dark alleyway. Hello? What the heck was that thing? Where did it go? Hello? The rabbit called, yet received no answer. One step into the alley forced a rush of caution to wash over Roy. 2 steps in caused the creature to reappear before him, an adorable smile across its foam-like face. Oh! There you are. Hello. You're kinda cute. Where did you come from? It did not speak, unable to return a reply to the curious rabbit. Instead, it cascaded through the air in a small little dance around his body, before carving a magical arc through the air before him. From the wisps of magic left behind its form, a door slowly formed out of thin air. What, what the? Is that a door? What? How did? To the eye, it led nowhere except for the rest of the alleyway. It was foolish to imagine a magical door in the middle of the city having any purpose or weight in reality. Then again, the creature had led Roy to it, and the rabbit had followed out of some curiosity of his own. Was this a test of faith? An offering of something whimsical to cure his boring days? Only one way to find out. One hand on the knob was enough to prove its existence. One twist of that same knob allowed the door to open, revealing a dark space beyond the archway. It was both frightening, yet exciting, mysterious, yet comforting. It was something that made Roy feel both at ease and eager to dive in, as if his body knew his mind. He stepped through and found himself falling, ever so slowly down a rabbit hole. It was gentle, with no cause for alarm in the rabbit's body. It was as if he knew that his descent was one worthy of traveling down. No one's ever gonna believe me when I get out of whatever this is. If I get out of here. He had nothing to fear, however, for his journey would not take miles of distance to fall. Within moments, Roy's feet effortlessly touched the floor, allowing him to stand with ease on a new surface in the dark. The only thing to capture his attention in the darkness was a small table, beaconed by a sourceless light. He approached, curious and cautious, to witness what awaited him. A small teacup, decorated in lavish silvers and gold, sat on the polished wood surface, filled with an enchanting purple and pink liquid. Attached to the handle was a small tag with twine, with the words, "Drink me," etched upon the cardstock. That's on the nose, isn't it? It is only on the nose if you drink with hopes of shrinking down to almost nothing, my friend. As cautious as he was curious, one flip to the back of the tag revealed a continuing phrase. And all your troubles vanish. All my troubles, huh? As his heart and his mind became one, Roy reached for the saucer and lifted it up, taking the cup by the handle with his right hand. The drink was warm, clearly waiting to be consumed. It did not cool before Roy lifted the cup to his lips and savored the taste of cake and coffee on his tongue. The flavor alone ushered the rabbit to drink every last drop, eyes closed in enjoyment. Without sparing the table a look, Roy returned the teacup and saucer to it. As he opened his eyes, a shadowy figure stood before him. It was both a stranger and a being he somehow knew all too well. Surprising, yet warm. Roy was not paralyzed in fear at its appearance. He found solace in its presence and felt the urge to welcome it with open arms. With a bow, the shadowy figure made for an embrace, and Roy found himself enveloped in a change that would, indeed, cause all of his troubles to vanish. He would not shrink into almost nothing. He would grow, yet not beyond the peaks of trees and mountains. Above all else, he would find the answer to his desires, granted with a form worthy of his new destiny. As the shadowy figure vanished from around him, he stood a new man. Familiar, yet a stranger in his own skin. Wow, that was, what just happened to me? Huh? Oh, where are my clothes? Behind the rabbit, a looking glass appeared to reveal to Roy his new form. Part of him felt complete, yet the urge for appropriate attire struck him as an immediate need, as if the space around him obeyed his desire. A dresser made itself known to him and allowed him access to its comforts and clothes. Thanks! He changed eagerly, finding joy in every thread of fabric and fitting himself with his heart's desire. Roy felt at home in his new wardrobe, as if every part was made just for him. Something about each thread sang to his skin, and he felt, at last, truly complete. Yeah, you like what you see? I do too. Thanks for leading me here. I guess the question is, where do I go now? As if it had the answer, the small creature danced the air once more, and a familiar door appeared from the darkness for the rabbit. The door opened itself just a hair and allowed a new bright light to peek out from the crack. Too eager to enter, the small teacup creature flew within the opening as if it begged Roy to follow in haste. Would he? The light seemed to sing a song of change, of adventure. Would it provide a new story for Roy to experience? Perhaps it could, but only if he took that step. Thanks. Well, here's hoping for something new. With a breath and a couple of steps, the door welcomed its new master. This was no dream to wake from, nor was it an illusion of any kind. The space embraced its new owner, and the cup of Dusk would find itself a new haven for his guests. While they need not travel down the rabbit hole, it would always appear if needed, as it had for Roy in kind.